Okay, so we're going to look at adding adding a client in simPRO now. I'm going to show you adding a client by going to People and then create new customer. If you want to, however, if you're booking a new job for someone, then you can add them on the fly. So if I go into create a new job, there's a create new button here above customer, so you can create a customer straight from there. So if you get in, for example, into the job booking and you're taking details and you realize that you don't have the customer in the system, then you can just create new straight from here. So if I go up to People and go create new customer, then I'll show you a couple of things here. So as you can see, there's a whole load of tabs here, some of which a lot of our clients use, some of which not many do, but I'll talk you through some of the important ones here. So first, you've got some radio buttons to choose whether it's a company or an individual. So a company obviously has company name and ABN. Individual has just title, first name, last name. So that's one thing just to be aware of depending on how you're entering it in. If you have a company with a company name, if you put in, for example, actually that's, yeah, let's do that. Then if you click on the little search, then there's a yellow Pages search. Obviously there I'm not found because it's looking in the wrong area. ABN search is quite useful here. So I've searched, it's searched to Science Digital because that was the name that's in the company name. I can see here, for example, that I've put a fake ABN in. So I can then check and maybe just ask the customer to confirm the ABN details or similar. It's also a good one because a lot of fraud comes from fake companies. So you can quickly see there if someone's got an appropriate ABN and whether it's working or not. So I'll take these away now and I'll just set up an individual. Primary phone number, so that can be usually a work number or a home number. So we'll put something in here and a mobile number as well. You've got a little do not call tick box there as well. So if that's recorded, then it will warn you on reports and similar with phone numbers. It will highlight them as do not call. Alternate phone numbers if you need another one. Email address, this becomes really important for invoicing, sending out copies of job sheets, anything like that. So here, if I just do a fake address for a moment. Location here then for street address, so I'll do this just to our office address. And one thing to note here is that you've got a postcode lookup. So if I just put Collingwood and Victoria, then the postcode fills out automatically. If I correct that to another suburb, another state, then it will fill out again. There's also a little tick box here of create a new site with this address. So by default, when you enter a customer, a site is created to work at as well. In most cases, that's appropriate, but in some it might not be. So for example, if you're putting a client in who is maybe a real estate agent or similar, you're probably not going to work at the address that you put in here because that will probably be their head office. So if that's the case, you can just untick that and then you can add in sites later on. Another thing to note is that sites have many-to-many relationship with customers. So in other words, one customer can have multiple sites. So a real estate agent might have 50 properties that they look after. In addition, one site can have many customers. So for example, you may have a site where you've worked for the real estate agent and you've also worked for the landlord and the tenant as well. You've got a tick box here as well for copying the street address to the postal address. So if there's no PO box address, then you can copy that. Over on the next page, you've got contacts. So here I probably don't need to select a contact because Bob's details are here. But if we had a company set up, then you would want to put the contacts there as well. Custom fields we've got in here. We talk about those in a separate video, but this is where you can set up custom fields. Response times are used if you have response times in the settings. So you can say, for example, that we have gold, silver, bronze, and the response times are 2 hours, 24 hours, or 3 days, and then you can track whether you responded in that amount of time. This is one of the areas that can be really important for service work or similar, but we actually see a lot of people not using. Settings area, there's a few different things here that are really important. So the username and the password only matter if you're going to give customers access to your system. So you can have customers that have access to the system and they're able to book a job or view current jobs. So it's quite useful for smaller real estate or management firms. You can also have customer profiles here. So if there's customer profiles in the settings, then you can select that this customer is VIP or domestic or at risk or new sale or anything like that. Default cost centers. So if you book a service job, it just goes straight into a particular cost center by default. Same for invoice template, same for invoice method, and same for notification method. So although it's a little bit of work to fill these out, it's particularly useful to do it because it means that you've got the information in there and you don't have to type it out every single time. Another really useful one here is a credit limit. Now, our suggestion to clients is that you set a credit limit for every single customer. Even a brand new domestic customer, I would set something, even if it's just $1,000 or something, just as a warning, so that you don't continually book jobs through. So if I said, for example, $500, as that is, it will just give me a warning if the customer owes more than $500. If I tick on stop, then it will allow me to physically put them on hold and then not book another job. Purchase order required is another useful one. So if you tick that, then a job won't go ahead without asking for a purchase order. That's quite useful again because some real estates and similar companies will not pay an invoice without a reference to a purchase order number. There's tags here as well, so you can tag customers as VIP or otherwise, and then you can do reporting based on that. Preferred tech is quite a useful one. So if a particular company has certification requirements or something like that, then you can say that therefore this particular person is the preferred tech, and then it will try and assign them by default. You've got rates in here, so we can say, so we've got a standard call out fee, and we could change that if we wanted to. Also here in labor, we've got our standard sell rates, so $90 say, but for example, if this customer's high value or something similar, we might say, well, we'll do this one at $80. Changing that just means that all jobs booked will get that new rate. Same for materials, we've got a standard markup of 25%, but we could untick and change that to something else if we wished. And finally, there's attachments. So like many areas of the system, you've got attachments in here. So you could put things in like a service agreement or site record or anything like that. So hopefully that helps with setting up a new customer. When I've done that, I just click finish. And I can go view customers, and we'll see that if I go from the search to the top, oh, no, it wasn't Smith, it was Jones. Then here, Bob Jones is now in as a customer.